Look, Kaheim Dixon, man, Kaheim Dixon. You know the move that I want to say long time. You understand? Since the start of the transfer window, been saying it like, and I just started said, look, I'm going to come public and I'm going to put it out there that look, this player need a move away from the football club. You understand? Because I know, look, it's going to be tough. No, it's going to be tough for him to get his opportunity. I know he want to get minutes for Charlton Athletic. So now, we're seeing that. Look, season long loan at Crawley Town. Sign a 4-year deal last summer, so he still have 3 more years left back on his contract at Charlton Athletic. Still a long way to go, but this is a decision that I want to see Kaheim Dixon and the people them that managing his career, his agent, his personal advisor, whoever is around Kaheim Dixon corner. And also I need Charlton Athletic to at least to open their eyes that if you're not going to play if you're not going to play the player the minutes that he want to play in the championship, it's best for you to loan him out, give him that first team experience, let him be around a first team, let him get the minutes that he would have won in a first team setup, or go down to a lower tier. And I said it as well that I don't really need Kaheim Dixon to move outside of England. There's too much football club in England where Kaheim Dixon cannot get a move to one of those lower tier teams in League 1 or League 2. I was hoping it will be League 1, but League 2, it's not bad. He should get the minutes. Yeah, I'm not saying there's a guarantee minutes or he's a guarantee starter walking into Crawley Town Football Club, but he should get some minutes at least coming off the bench. That would be a pretty good standard, because leaving Arnett Garden, the better decision of leaving Arnett Garden would have played in the academy set up for Charlton Athletic. That would have been the perfect move for him. Get climatized, get used to English football, just get used to the whole environment and what is the Charlton model and what is it coming up in a youth setup, learning the craft, know his development and his education on the football pitch would have been behind, more than a lot of these youngsters. But what you cannot take away from a Kaheim Dixon, this boy is a talent, and I saw that talent at, his last couple of games at Clarendon College, and I saw even more of his talent when he's playing in the Jamaican Premier League for Arnett Garden, and even more so, he still didn't look out of place, out of shape in the national team. He looked like he just slot right in the right perfect spot for him in the national team for senior men's football. So now I'm saying that this player have played and done his due diligence, that look, he have went through all the stages in the academy for Charlton. He don't need to play football at the academy level anymore. There's no football. Look, I have done a lot of research, in the academy team, that Charlton played in last season, professional development league and also the Premier League Cup. I can't find any player around the Charlton setup or a lot of the Brentford players that the team would have played against, and I think they played against Southampton. A lot of those academy players, for like some Premier League teams, those players have not even have one international cap at the senior level. I found a few players, playing somewhere around, getting minutes in the academy and play some youth, football for the national team, like Ireland, Northern Ireland, and Wales. There's a few players in around that league as well that make their debut for the national team, but at the youth level, but there's no other player in the youth setup in Charlton or in that league that Charlton Athletic is playing currently and played in previous time when Kaheim Dixon played the last season, have the amount of international caps over his head. Not one. Kaheim Dixon is the only player that have over I don't even have to start to call names. So why is it that it would have been beneficial for this player to continue to play at this level when it shows that he's above that level? The learning curve, the honeymoon period would have finished already for Kaheim Dixon. No, it's the time to play man's football. Yeah, no, it's the time to play senior football. No, it's the time to settle around a first team setup where he's going to compete day in and day out on the training pitch, where it will help to push him. That's how Kaheim Dixon is going to reach the next level in this developmental stage, because he still have quite a few way to go until he can really reinstate himself into to be a regular starter in around a League One team or close to a championship team. You understand? So the Crawley Town is just the perfect fit. And just to let me just settle the argument about Kaheim Dixon should be playing academy football, and I want to put it out there like first responder as well. I'm one of them coming at the comment section trying to belittle Kaheim Dixon talent, trying to say I'm putting Kaheim Dixon to a level of where he's not at this moment. Yeah, I see the talent. I know what this player needs to go to the next level. So when you hear me really talk about the football and I tell you like, look, this player shouldn't be playing academy football, and I saw it and I look at Charlton Athletic played a Carabao Cup and he's nowhere to be found in that squad. They had 9 players on that bench and they make so many changes, a house load of changes into the game that they played versus Reading compared to the game that they played at home, I think versus Stevenage, in the Carabao Cup, where they won that game. Completely out of it. He wasn't nowhere near the squad. Even the Charlton Athletic journalists that cover the football club, they had their own squad that Nathan Jones picked, and he's nowhere near it. His name is not there. So everyone that say, oh yeah, he might have number 13 and he's in the squad, he's not in the first team setup at this moment for the championship team. You understand? Going forward. So even look at the level of where Whisper is playing for Chelsea, and even previously before he went off to do that knee surgery, that academy level of where Whisper was playing, it's a totally different level. Kaheim Dixon level at the academy for Charlton is way below that level of where Whisper was playing for Chelsea U21 team. Yeah, that's a higher level. That's a higher league in the academy system in England. So Kaheim Dixon was playing way below a level of where he shouldn't be playing at this moment. I could understand moving over from Jamaican Premier League into England. That would have get him climatized. That would have get him accustomed to England setup. Get his feet wet around the ground of what is the taste of English football, and he would have learned a little bit more craft from coaches that are going to teach him the right proper instruction, the right education, and how to go forward to be a better professional. So that's all I have to say around the academy. Now moving to Crawley Town, this is Kaheim Dixon opportunity. If Kaheim Dixon are gonna make a claims, and if Kaheim Dixon are gonna make a shout out that he deserves in the future to be around a Charlton Athletic first team setup and needs to be in that squad and or needs to be on that bench every time that football club going to play a game in the near future. If this is if this workout for Kaheim Dixon in terms of a successful loan, he's going to have to make a claims for Crawley Town this season. But again, it wouldn't be so much pressure on a Kaheim Dixon, but this is another step in the right direction for him to go forward and to add on to what he have learned, and then Crawley Town would have trust the development of the education what Kaheim Dixon would have learned over the last 12 months at that football club, because Charlton Athletic is a very, very strong hold in the league format in terms of when I say the league format, in terms of League 1, League 2 and the championship. They've been known to produce some very good young academy prospect coming up through their system. So they would have trust the level of where Kaheim Dixon would play last season, and also the education that the coaches would have passed on to Kaheim Dixon. So moving to Crawley Town, it's not a region really far from Charlton Athletic. Charlton Athletic is in a region of South London, and if you probably go further down into Crawley Town, it's south of Charlton Athletic, where Charlton located. So it's just around, when I did my research, it's just around an hour drive between the two stadiums. So Kaheim Dixon isn't moving too far away from Charlton. He's just moving just about 30 miles outside of London. So he's going to be in the Sussex region. So big move, for Kaheim Dixon. Proud of him. This is a moment I want to see. And look, I'm not going to go into details of what is Crawley Town Football Club is like, a team that got relegated, from League One football, struggling at the moment, last both games. He's a fairly brand new manager, came in last March to steady the ship, tried to save the team from relegated, back to League 2 football, but he couldn't save the ship. The ship sunk. Now, he's trying to bring up back the ship, bring local life in that football club, but he lost 2 from 2. They will play Crew Alexandra tomorrow in League 2. The deal announced earlier, today, and I'm hope that it announced, hope that the deal would have sealed on paper. I'm just hoping that the deal seal on time where Kaheim Dixon would have be available. I think it's around just over 24 hour, 48 hour in time of signing before a match day. I think you will be eligible to play a game. So hopefully, Kaheim Dixon papers really sign off and, submit to the AFL, and it will be eligible that he will be available for selection going forward on the game on Saturday versus Crew Alexandra. But again, big move. This is Kaheim Dixon opportunity. He must prove to the reggaeboyz fans and must prove to the Charlton Athletic coaching staff that, look, he deserves to be in type of setup like this in terms of, first team setup, senior setup, where he will be competing for his spot week and week out on the training ground. And you can't ask for anything more. You just cannot ask for anything more. And, put it further in that, look, Kaheim Dixon going to put a lot of pressure. Yeah, Kaheim Dixon going to put a lot of pressure on the players like, the Norman Campbell and these players, knowing that, look, he's moving out of, academy setup, going into a first team setup where he will expose, to first team football, to first team minutes. And now, with the talent I know Kaheim Dixon have and how much, this player is just eager, to prove that, look, he is a talent, he's a hard worker. I know, he will do anything to have success on the pitch. It's all up to Kaheim Dixon to improve himself game by game, day by day, and to to put himself in the gym, to eat right, sleep right. That comes with rest as well. Listen to the coaching staff. Look at some of the professionals that are around him as well in that changing room, and I'm hoping that there will be that old school leader or a leader that will hand down a little bit of experience on the youngsters in around Crawley Town as well. It's a look, the manager is a very good experienced manager at that level as well, so he will know exactly what Kaheim Dixon need and what he don't need. But again, Kaheim Dixon cannot just depend on Crawley Town. Kaheim Dixon have to make sure that, look, in putting in the work, whoever a personal trainer, he's going to feed himself properly, because these things are important as just as minutes on the football pitch. Without a healthy body, there's no healthy performances. Without any healthy rest in terms of sleeping, rest his foot, doing his high spot, getting his massage daily, eating up his protein, know when to eat carbs and stuff like that. These things are important for his development, and going forward, these things can put him to the next level. So when he's away from the training ground at Crawley Town, he needs to make sure that, look, at least him put in 1, 2, 3 hours at home doing extras out, because Kaheim Dixon is way, now I want to say way behind, but Kaheim Dixon is a little behind after the leading pack, that is the players at Charlton, because you still have to put him against the Tyrese Campbell, the Fuller, the Leeborn, these players, the young players around Charlton Athletic. You still have to put him ahead and still compare him with these players. So he's behind of those players. So he have to do, as I said, work 2, 3, 4 times X more than those players. That's how Ronaldo is still competing at the highest level. He worked 4 hours before the regular time for training session at any club he's at, and still managed to put in an extra hour or 2 after. So these are the commitment a young Kaheim Dixon have to have, and him have to circle himself around the right people. I gotta keep on telling and how he need to improve more. Not want any yes man around him. Yeah, needs people in his corner to tell him what is the perfect way, and what is the perfect way of being on the top and breakthrough as a youngster coming from the Jamaican Premier League. And look, there's more talent just like Kaheim Dixon in Jamaica. All they need is just a chance, and this is all. I'm closing out. Bless upon yourself. Thanks for watching. This is Nicardo Media House. See you guys early tomorrow. Now it's the time. The Premier League is back. Hopefully Bournemouth can do something and win their first game at Anfield, but that is so unrealistic, of Bournemouth beating Liverpool, the champions, at this point. But yeah, Kaheim Dixon, big move to Crawley Town, just 30 minutes outside of London. He's not moving far. It's just right around the corner. Bless upon yourself. Salute. Kaheim Dixon all the way. Come on, Kaheim Dixon. Forza Kaheim Dixon. Get it to them, Kaheim Dixon, and prove them wrong that you is a talented player that can really go far.